Vehicles in Project Zomboid are one of the survivors' best friends. They can carry weeks of supplies, are a place you can sleep in when in need, or you can even use them to kill some zombies. But in today's video, I'll be testing out the engine durability of each vehicle by ramming them right into a massive horde. It's important to know which vehicle is strong and which is weak, so I got you back, my survival friends. For this test, I will be hitting the zombies at 70 miles an hour. Each vehicle will also be at full health, and all the vehicles are from the vanilla game. If any of you are interested in me doing a part 2 but with all the vehicles that have been modded in, let me know in the comments below. Anyways, the three versions of the vehicles we have are standard, sport and heavy duty. Some of the cars do have more versions of them, which are basically the same just with a different texture slapped over them, and maybe an extra set of doors like that one van you can find. And although all these vehicles may have been built for a different purpose or job to be used for, ultimately their durability is the most important thing. So I decided to create a metal crate enclosure, then trap the zombies in it and see if any car can reach the wall at the end, also using the 12 crates on each side to somewhat measure which type of car went the furthest. Starting off with the standard class cars. I do want to say, if I get any of these car names wrong, you can just throw me off Mount Everest or something, I don't really care. But firstly, we have the Chevalier DT, a small but fast vehicle, only really popular when vehicles are turned on low or as a starter car. But it managed to only get through around 9 meters before the engine broke completely. Next up was the Chevalier Ser Wagon, a well-known family car. It's slow but very spacious, which makes it very useful for looting. It hit the horde, causing it to bounce right back off it. Then its engine shut off soon after before it reached anywhere near where the dart got to. The third car in the standard class is the Dash Ranger, another small but fast car which can somewhat handle off-road and actually has some space. It managed to push through the horde quite a bit, seeming to be on par with the dart. But lastly, for the standard car class, we have the Masteron Horizon, basically an expensive version of the Chevalier DT, with only its length being mainly longer. And even though the Horizon did one hell of a bounce, it pushed through to what I believe is first place. Looks like length does help after all. Interrupting the program just to briefly talk about the dangers of slow driving. Don't be an idiot. Don't choose Sunday driver. You need to be fast all the time. Can't let those zombies catch you or you're dead. No, don't think about that tree you may hit. Not this time, I say. So drive fast. Anyways, in the next class type, we have the sports cars. And first up, we have the Chevalier Cassette, a super fast car, which is also a death machine to any player looking for a punishing mistake. But I guess with its speed comes the sacrifice of the durability, as it proved to be very weak, as it didn't really get far into the enclosure before breaking down. Next up was a vehicle that is classed as both a sport and a standard class car, the Chevalier Niala. The car comes in many variants. It's a medium-sized car with 4 doors for any friends you may have but will never convince them to play this game with you. The car didn't manage to get through the horde that well, and it pretty much covered the same distance as the Cassette before eventually breaking down. Third sports car in line is the Mercier Lang, another fast death machine which doesn't really have much space for groceries, and like with some other cars, it bounced off the horde upon impact. Then it broke soon after, pretty much tying alongside the other 2 sports cars. Next up was the Chevalier Primani, a nice medium-sized car for, again, those friends who would rather play COD instead of an actual game. The Primani pushed through the horde quite a bit, and it seemed to have done the best so far from the sports vehicles at least. Lastly, we have the Dash Elite, another 4-door car which is somewhat quick but likes to flip a lot on its side. But even if it doesn't flip, it doesn't break through the horde very well, and it breaks very quickly, in fact making it one of the worst vehicles in the game. We are now onto the last vehicle class, the heavy duty class. The first vehicle in line is the Franklin Allterrain, a very useful and reliable car and great for looting due to its space, but unfortunately the car doesn't really seem that tough against the zombies, as it barely made it past the start of the pit. Next up, we have the Chevalier Step van, a stepdad to all other Chevalier vehicles. It's a slow but spacious car capable of carrying the whole gigamart, but once again the big vehicle fails to punch through the horde and it breaks quite quickly into its adventure through the zombie pit. Third car in line for the heavy duty class is the Dashball Driver, a tough looking vehicle which can carry a shop worth and can be speedy if needed. And even though half of the pit was broken, it seemed the Bull Driver was pretty much on par with the others from its class so far. Next up, we have the Franklin Value line, one of the most popular vanilla vehicles due to its space, speed and reliability. Also, it has the most different variants that you can choose from. The Value line certainly proved its toughness as it made it through the halfway line into the pit before eventually breaking down. And lastly, the last vanilla vehicle to test is the Chevalier D6. A good old reliable truck with plenty of space and horsepower, and whilst the horde initially shifted it off course, the D6 punched through the horde, making it be tied with Valor line. And there you have it, the Masteron Horizon comes in first with the Franklin Valor line and the Chevalier D6 tying in for second place. And with the Chevalier coming in last due to its risk of the most definite flipping. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did, as it helps out a lot. It's been ZKlak. Stay safe out there choosing which vehicle to hit the zombies with, and I'll see you in the next video.